Hello, guys. You're welcome to the No Stand Zone podcast. My name is Tiae, and it's always a pleasure to have you here. I feel all the love and all the appreciation on my end as well. I know, yeah, we don't get to see each other. Like I see you, you see me. Like having a more of a video platform. I don't know. I mean, just mentioning that now has me thinking. Is it something I should probably think about? Is this something you guys will be something you would be on the same page with? Because honestly, I'm not even gonna. I don't pretend. I mean, on this show, I've been as honest as possible. And the thing is, someone has actually spoken to me about it before. Like, how come that is not like your next move or what you're actually like actively planning? And honestly, I've always been comfortable being a radio person. Like it even took me a long time, took me a while to actually get comfortable hearing the sound of my own voice. I remember like the first 5 years, or no, not up to 5, the first like 3 years of being in radio, starting radio, I would not listen to my show back again to know how I sound, how I like maybe how I could get better and things like that. I would never listen to my own voice again. I just didn't like it. It irritated me. I just wasn't in for it. So so with that at the back of eventually, I got comfortable hearing the sound of my own voice and being able to critique myself on how to get better, what to do, in certain, just how to get better at the job, basically. And it took a while, and it was like just excruciating pain for me. Basically, is how I felt. It's like for me, it's like feels like cutting onions. Right, where you need to cut it, it gives you sauce and all of that to make your food better. You need to cut it up at the same time. It makes you cry and it makes your eye, watery, and it really aches, right? So that's kind of like how I felt for a long time. Now the video part is a little tricky for me as well, and I will say it this way: if you go to my Instagram page, for example, you would not see one picture there. Outside of my the DP display picture, you would not see my picture there. And it's not like it's always been like that. I literally woke up one morning and be like, I just deleted everything. Like, I don't want anything here. Leave my page the way it is on Instagram. Well, I'm not on Instagram as much. It's for me, it's more like catch up on, let's say, like pop culture or things that are happening. That's when I go to Instagram, right? Most of my time trying to get information is always spent on Twitter. And I know different people are different. They get their information from different places. A lot of people on TikTok nowadays, right? For me, I could wake up a morning and delete half of the pictures I have, right? I've done that several times. Like the way it is right now, I literally woke up early one morning. I opened Instagram and I was like, why are there pictures here? And I deleted everything, right? So I'm looking at it that way. Like if I start to do video, it's going to take me a while as well to get comfortable literally staring at myself, looking at myself and actually critiquing myself on how to get better and how, and I am very sure 100% that because I'm someone who I always want to get better at what I'm doing. And I sometimes can be extra critical of how I view myself or of the job I'm doing as well. I can one day wake up and be like, I'm not, this is just trash, and delete the videos from social media. Basically, it's something that I literally could do. And so because I feel I'm not at that place here where I'm comfortable staring at myself, look at myself, talk, and I don't think I'm there yet. And to be honest with you, that's probably the only reason. And someone told me a while back that might be holding the podcast back to a certain extent. And I hear you, because today, the way the podcast space is, or industry, whatever, it's more video. Nobody's just having podcasts anymore of just audio, right? You put video. In fact, some people, it's like a full on production and TV and lights and makeup and all of that, right? So to just keep it at video, to just keep it at audio, it can be like holding oneself back. But I need to be honest with you, man. I feel very comfortable, being able to do what I'm doing right now, without being seen. And if it's something you guys think, I probably should try, I will give it a try. I've heard a few not too many people talk to me about it, right? But let me know what you think. If it's something you want to see happen, right? You want me to set up a video, where a more video broadcast where I, can put it on YouTube and on social media, and so we can, you can see my face. If it's something you think we should do, please just let me know. Please let me know. But I just went on that. I won't call it a rant, but it's like an honest. I was more of an honest, like how I'm feeling right now, honest take of how I'm feeling right now. But it's always a pleasure to have you guys here tuning in every single week, whether you're listening on Spotify, Apple, whatever it is that you are listening to us from. Trust me, I see all the support on the back end. I see all you guys follow on social media and on all the likes on our platforms as well. It means a lot of what we're trying to do here. Right, what we're trying to do here, and please do not hesitate to, let family, friends, strangers, anybody know what we're doing here. Right here, it's all about the Nigerian music industry. A little take also on the African music industry, as well. More nuanced takes that you will. I mean, I am 100% sure you will not get any of these takes anywhere, because they are backed by just honesty, which is the very first value here, honesty, as well as years of experience and just understanding how the industry works. Also an understanding and an appreciation for music, for the art, and the artists as well. Sometimes they will, some of these artists would think because you criticize their music or you criticize what they put out, the image or whatever, the branding, they think, oh, you probably hate them. For me, on a personal note, hate is very, very, it's far from it. Like, I honestly want everyone to succeed. Every one of our artists out there putting out music, I want everyone to succeed. I know what it means to actually create something and you put it out there. And the thing is, because of how music is, it's like the whole world gets to critique your work. Right? And your job approval is based on not what your boss says or like your colleagues say, like at work. And even if you have you're employed to a company or 5,000, 10,000 people, it is not 10,000 people that are critiquing your work every 3 months or every 6 months. It's not those 10,000 people, right? But with music, it's like the whole world at this point, because once you put it out, you put some money behind it as well, to spread the music, or to get it across to different places around the world. Then it's more people. At this stage, it could be millions of people critiquing your work at the same, in real time. And like 9 times out of 10, most people cannot even connect with the music, right? It's like releasing an Afrobeats music and someone randomly in South America, might be like, oh, this album is trash, not understanding anything about like the music itself, right? So it's a lot of that, and I totally get it. I'm sympathetic sometimes to some of the things that artists have to go through in this industry. They're having to put out work and everything that entails today. It's a different ball game. As to what it looks like today. So I'm honestly on their side and wanting them to succeed. At the same time, I think truth needs to be told. It needs to be said, and that's the only way we can get better. And in our industry today, a lot of people are catering to the artists, labels, whatever, all the people on the back end. And my goal is that we can get this information out to as many people as possible, that the space actually exists. And like the name of the podcast says, honestly, it's no stand zone. stands at like everyone. And today, it's like the amount of fans you have, or loyal cultish fans you have, determines how literally big you are. I mean, a prime example of that is Victoni, and the conversation was like brewing up a few months ago, where people were saying if Victoni had enough haters, he probably would be one of the biggest artists in Nigeria. Which you just think about that for a second. That is how you can actually gain popularity, is if you have enough haters. Not if your music is good, not if you're doing the right things, but if you have enough haters, and then your own fans are able to fight against those haters, that is how you can actually get big in the industry. Like it's just mind-blowing, right? But it's the reality of what the industry is today. So please once again, please share with family and friends, share with colleagues, strangers. Let them know that there's a space that exists where there are in-depth conversations about Afrobeats in quotes, and at a time where most people want to know about the genre. And the thing is, nobody's actually feeding them information about who's the next thing, what is the next thing, what is happening in the industry, right? And more in-depth, nuanced takes about what is happening. I think this space occupies a unique space, and I am very sure, and for you who have been listening long enough, you know that we're putting out quality stuff here, quality content, quality conversations, with quality conversations around the Nigerian music industry. So thank you for being here. It's been an incredible week for me as well. Well, I've spent my week, and the thing is, I've spent my week just on YouTube most of this week. It's been a lot of the Olympics for me. It comes up one every 4 years. Whenever it comes, I'm usually so addicted, and I'm usually very addicted to the really, I would say, weird in quotes, because you don't see them except for like Olympics, or you don't really hear about them like this sports unless like Olympics. For example, surfing. You see how people like watching like dog and cat videos? It's the way I love to watch boxing. There's another one, fencing, then the archery, right? All these weird, in quotes, weird sports are the ones I actually really, really like. The ones that we don't even get, nobody even knows what is happening. Like synchronized swimming. For me, see, that you would have me, you have me there. I could watch hours of synchronized swimming. It's like I'm being hypnotized by just watching two people do like exactly the same styles while, jumping into the pool. It might be because, another reason might be because I don't know. Oh my gosh, I'm about to expose my, I actually don't know how to swim. So things like surfing actually gets me. So it's like I'm being hypnotized just watching synchronized. It's mind blowing, right? And I'm watching highlights from previous Olympics, Olympics as well. It's like me just going down the rabbit hole of all these sports, right? So I'm usually more caught up, like more like drawn towards the sports that I don't really hear a lot about, and me just finding out how folks actually qualify for surfing and how they grade it. Now, it's not like I probably will remember any of this after this, right? But just, I don't know, it sounds, or it looks very like something very luxurious. Yeah, that's the word. It looks very luxurious to me, that I'm always like, yeah, let me know what is happening. But yeah, that's what I've spent most of my time, my free time doing throughout this week. It's all been a lot of Olympics, like the sports in the Olympics, and just being on YouTube the whole time. There've been, and I was watching the opening ceremony as well. And a lot of people, I think, are kind of like on the same page with me as well. I was seeing a lot of people talk about this on social media, that it was very overwhelming. That's overwhelming. It was very underwhelming. I didn't even understand it. I was looking for a video that could show like the full thing, right? A video that would show like the full like opening ceremony, because what I was seeing were just cuts and cuts, and so I didn't see any like cohesive. It didn't look cohesive to me, right? And I think that's what I'm looking for right now, to see the full thing, from like the lights to the performances. Oh my God, Celine Dion is just, that lady, God bless her, right? She is just spectacular with everything we've seen over the years. We've watched over the years, that we've seen over the years, be just elevate and just still be incredibly graceful. Everything she's been through in the past few years, and then to still see her on being able to perform at the peak of it all. Her voice is still like really impeccable, right? And all of that. So I was just watching a few of them, like watching Lady Gaga and Aya Nakamura as well, the folks flying in the air and the lights, and for me it just seems very disjointed. Maybe because I haven't watched the whole thing. If you have a different opinion, let me know. If you really, really enjoyed it, yeah, buzz me. Let me know what you really enjoyed about it. The Lady Gaga performance was incredible. That is the level. I don't think anybody in our industry is at that level yet, but damn. And the thing is, watching Aya Nakamura, who is a French, more of like a French Afrobeat sort of a pop singer, and her performance came just before, it was like right after her performance was Lady Gaga, and the difference was so clear. She didn't have to do a lot of choreography. Like, it was just like a couple of dance routines and in a straight line. But just watching Lady Gaga go up and down the stairs, play the piano, still keep up with the choreography, and her voice, you cannot even hear that she's moving a lot. Oh my gosh, I was watching that and I was like, damn. This is another level of performance, and this is another level of being a performer. Now, there are artists, right? And there are folks on that level of Lady Gaga, like the Beyoncés, who are able to capture you and still like deliver, right? It was so good to actually watch that. Yeah, that's just what I spent my week kind of really into. The weird sports, the weird, in quotes, weird sports at the Olympic Games, the opening ceremony, yes, and also listening to lots of music. You know, that is like my pastime. What I do to actually soothe myself is listening to new music. Something about that as well. I love to do that every single time. So let's dive into what I was listening to this week, and then we'll dive into what I also was thinking about this week, a particular topic or a particular issue that was at the back of my mind today. Not today, throughout the course of the week. But let's talk about the albums that I have actually listened to. Like I promised last week, I actually listened to the Chike album, and you see, with him, for me, he's Mr. Consistent. That's how I see him. It's like he's an R&B artist, right? So you get an R&B album. No, nobody, and people today, it's more like, I want to do something I have never done before. Now, there is space for that. There are actually artists that have gone ahead to do that. Notably, of the biggest artists, for example, Beyonce releasing a country music album. Folks like Drake giving you like a house album, right? A few years ago. Like, it happens with the biggest of all artists. But then there are also artists like Taylor Swift, who has given like consistently pop music for like almost 20 years right now. Did I say 20 years? But close to that, right? Just decade, like a full decade and a half or so of just being consistent with that sound. And every time she releases a project, you know what you're going to get, whether it's your cup of tea or not, but you know what you're going to get. And that's how I kind of look at Chike. There are very few artists like him in this industry today. I'm not talking about any of the OGs, but I'm talking about today, where they're going to give you a project, you know what you're going to get. It's like, oh, I'm going to get a pop album, right? One of those artists that I can say, point to, you kind of know what you're going to get. And for me, it's kind of makes me like a fan of his music, is Ruga. You know what you're going to get with Ruga. For me, that consistency puts this artist at a up there for me. Now, you fine, you can experiment and do any of that stuff you want to do. But please, like, let it be like 20% of the time. Fowles, for example, did that as well. We know him to give us the lyrics and like in-depth conversations that he has on his songs and the things he's talking about in depth. There is none like him in the industry. The things he talks about, how he says this, his cadence. He's an incredible rapper. He decided to do some sort of R&B-ish stuff a few years ago, like two years ago. But now he's back to his bag, and he released an incredible project, which I spoke about here a few weeks ago, of a project that from him that I really, really liked, right? So, I mean, it's fine to try, but it's like, let's know you, be consistent, right? And for Chike, I think that is what you get from him. I am always so impressed with his work, because I know what I'm going to get. But then when I listen to it, he seems to step it up a little bit. But let's talk about this particular project that he just, his new album he just released, titled Son of Chike. So right off the bat, my thoughts on this album is, this is not his best work, for sure. This is not his best work. I felt like part of it, I was just lost, sort of. It was like, I just don't know. It just wasn't it, basically, for me. Now, it's an album, Son of Chike, has 12 songs in it. A couple of features here with Ladipo, the one with Mohbad, Egu, we already know, with my girl King Madi, and then with Olamide. I mean, it was straight to the point, but I could appreciate the consistency. It was a smooth listen as well. Like, I like it, no matter the album, the genre. I usually like albums that give you that. They're not throwing you to the left and to the right, and you're just trying to keep up and trying to catch up. Like, there is a cohesive direction here, and you're just following that. And they're able to temp things down. And like I said about the Nonso Amadi album last year, it felt like I was blindfolded and someone was just taking my hand. And I was like, dude, go, like, let's go. Wherever it is we're going to, I trust where you're going to. Like, there's some projects that you just give you that kind of feeling, right? Now, it didn't feel totally like that, because I felt like some parts of it kind of felt lost. I kind of felt, it wasn't it for me. But the featured project, the songs with features on it were incredible. You see, I feel like some days this podcast could be a King Madi full episode, where that's who I'm talking about the whole episode. How incredible of an artist she is, right? And it feels like whenever I hear her again, it's like, I am so glad you're in this industry and you're able to excel. The song, track number 8, Your Loss, beautiful one, really memorable song as well. The song with Ladipo, the very first one, this is a really nice way to start a project. I really liked it. I'm not the greatest fan of Ladipo as a rapper, right? But I think on the featured projects, he's able to capture me and keep me kind of like, oh, nice one. So great one there. The song with Mohbad is already, I think for Chike is already record breaking, putting him number 1 on the turntable charts for weeks, right? One of the best songs from last year, one of my favorite songs from last year. Really, really good one. I think the memorable songs are the songs that had the features for me. Not really anything outside of that. The one um Olamide and Ameya as well. Beautiful song. I honestly, the features really, really did it for me. Olamide is like, this man at this point, it's like, how do you still have it? When I hear him give he just dropped a project, Ikigai, right? And you guys remember what some of my thoughts on that album. He released an album, you're asking yourself, how is it you still have it? How is it that you still, not only that you still have it, the drive is still there. It's a different thing to you have it, but you're just not, it's not just in you anymore to just keep dropping projects and then, you can kind of focus on other things. But with him, the drive is still there. He's still producing and being involved on the back end with artists, right? Like Ashake and the Rex Fireboy. But at the same time, he's still able to really drop incredible, like, dope projects and give you dope features as well. He never ceases to amaze me, man. He never ceases to amaze me. So shout out to Olamide, adding real spice to this project. King Madi, great job as well. Ladipo, incredible one as well. So I would say it wasn't his best work. Definitely not up there for my favorite albums this year, but he will always give you quality work, right? A body of work. It was a smooth listen as well. And before I knew it, the album was over. It didn't feel like it didn't feel like, oh, it was 12 tracks, right? How many minutes is that? Let me see. Yeah, it should have how many? Yeah, 30. It didn't feel like 30 minutes. Honestly, listening to this album, it did not feel like 30 minutes at all. Because I looked, I was like, wait. The song is already over. I was hearing Ladipo's raps again, like Onto You again at the beginning. I was like, ooh, we're done, we're done already. But in all, I said I will give it a good C. Is there anything like C plus, or I would say B minus is what I would say. This was a B minus. It wasn't his greatest work, of course. This is not Bull of the Bullet, but I can appreciate his voice. I love to hear his voice every single time. He's got one of those as well. If we ever have anything like a Hall of Fame, Chike will be there. It's like there's nobody dropping projects like him today. And the infusion of the traditional Igbo with the English and the Pidgin, nobody does it better than Chike today, and giving you good R&B vibes. And yeah, I really did appreciate his work on this album, but overall as an album, definitely wasn't up there for me. So I will give him a B minus on this one. Another person that just released a project as well is the queen, the legend herself, Yemi Alade. This lady is, I think she has created some, like, a lane for herself as to, this is what my career is going to be. Right? This, I know, it's like she knows where she's going with, not being seen performing in, like, doing the regular shows in Nigeria or in America and Europe a lot. But you see the African countries, the French-speaking countries, she kind of has a lock on that. And I think I see her. Now, I'm not wishing anything on Angelique Kidjo. She is a legend, right? If she decides to retire, there is a particular a particular group of people who will be looking for some sort of replacement of that, who like that indigenous, like, African feel to their music, those African sounds. I'm not talking about Nigerian, thing, right? Like more pop, current sounding, but who like that and all those kind of, those African sounds and effects to the music. There are going to be people who want that, because it's clear that there are a lot of people want that today, because there wouldn't be market for, if not, there wouldn't still be opportunities for Angelique Kidjo to still be performing today, right? There's a demand out there. And the fact that both of them, both Yemi Alade and Angelique Kidjo, seem to collaborate every time they put out projects now, it looks like there is a relationship there. And I can, imagine that they're kind of helping each other out as well. Like Angelique Kidjo giving her giving Yemi Alade some advice on how to go about this and still stay relevant for a long time. Because Yemi Alade is always at one show. She's always at one festival. Not like the biggest, like the one every pop artist is at. And there's a difference. But she's always having a show. Either she's in France or in Africa as well. In the East African countries, they love her dance. And the thing is, she's also an incredible performer. One, like at the top there as one of the best performers Nigeria has got today. Among the, like, she's what I would say today. Today, top three performers today in the Nigerian music industry. Yemi Alade is there. She's able to captivate a crowd. I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3. No. I'm talking about you being able to mesmerize a crowd from your because she can dance. So she's giving you incredible dance steps as well, incredible choreography. Her voice is second to none. Very few have that powerful voice in the industry. And I tweeted a while back, a few months back, that she is creating a blueprint of how to stay relevant for a long time, because she is going to be here for a long time. I'm not sure most people realize this yet. Yemi Alade is going to be here. She's going to be performing just like we have Angelique Kidjo doing. Yemi Alade is going to be here for a really long time, and she's going to be making her money. She might not be in the conversation where every single week like the pop artists are, because of all the bloggers and social media influencers and all of that. But I can guarantee you that she's going to outlive 80% of the industry today. 80% of the industry, she's going to outlive them. She has found a way to make it work. And most people don't realize is that her catalog is going to become a lot more valuable, 10, 15, even years from now. She might not be releasing music or even do, whatever the case might be, but she will still be able to perform. That's what we're seeing with Angelique Kidjo. Right? She's still able to perform. And the thing is, because probably she doesn't have as great back end art bloggers and all of that, we don't actually talk about the hits she's actually had years now, in years past. We don't talk about it a lot. We don't talk about it a lot in the industry. Like right there, the blogs is not what everybody's talking about. So I'm even surprised as well that I don't hear a lot of that on the DJs as well, because she's got some of those a few hits like that you think every DJ should be including in their spins. Like I don't even hear any of her songs. Like there's this one she's got, everything don't hold body, it go dance. Like everything don't hold, like that. I did not even hear that anywhere. And this was like maybe 2 years ago, or a year ago, people were complaining that they go to club, everybody's playing, it's only a shaka, piano, two, and then people like Yemi Alade actually have hits out there, hits upon hits out there. So, her music for me it's been kind of surprising for me that her music is one that hasn't been captured enough. either by the DJs, the industry. Everybody just keeps playing like kind of like the same thing over and over again. So, but to her album, this album started really good. Now, like I mentioned earlier, she has that, she always gives that Mama Africa vibe. So when I heard that on the first track, the song titled Caribou, I was like, okay, maybe this is what this album is going to be. But if this is what the album is going to be, I don't even mind, because I know it is who she is. It's original. She's not trying to fake it or form it. It's who she is, right? So for me, when I heard that, I was like, let's go, without giving me all those yelele, yelele, African sound, African vibe. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's see how it's going to work. Now, followed by the song Tomorrow. She already released that. I love this track very, very much. She already released this song also in anticipation to the album. One of the singles she released, one of the songs she released prior to the album. And I don't know what language this is, right? The maybe because of how my background, right? I love good harmonies. Any song that has got like harmonies, like you have the altos, the sopranos, the tenors, and because I kind of grew up in church as well, where all this part, you're not the loudest person, you have to keep your voice at a certain level so that everyone can be heard, and then it's sweet, right? And she always knows how to do that with all those African things, right? This Tomorrow has that, and I just love it. Gives me the chills every single time. I can listen to this song on repeat just to hear those harmonies over and over and over again. Beautiful song, right? And then number 3, I will tell you the reason why I'm going through this chronically, right? And then number 3, she gives you the typical pop sound, Kilowawa. And also she gives in this song, she also gives the harmonies as well. She definitely is a musician. You can tell she always wants you to hear that in her music. I think it's intentional, the harmonies and all of that. So I'm like, yeah, if you're giving me that, I will take it, right? I will take it. But then number 4, Chairman, this is where things kind of went south to me. Because I was like, okay, Caribou was like, okay, this is the vibe of the album. And then you give me Tomorrow, I've heard before, I can listen to again. And then Kilowawa, the Afro pop, I was like, okay, let's go. But then you see the middle of this project, it just went really sour for me. I'm not gonna lie, it went really sour for me. There was this run of just a few songs that just didn't sit well with me. Now 16 songs, and after number 3, we Kilowawa. See, there was just like Chairman, Ije Love, I'm Sorry, Happy Date. There was just like back to back to back of songs that I did not connect with at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. But then she has a song with Angelique Kidjo. You see it. Like I mentioned earlier, just celebrating her, right, of her sounds and how she's been working with Angelique Kidjo. But then I'm like, why do you have a song titled African Woman with Angelique Kidjo? I'm sure Angelique Kidjo too, when she saw this, was like, come on, Yemi, let's do something else, right? Let's do something else. When I saw this title African Woman and it's a featuring Angelique Kidjo, I was like, come on, let's do something else. Let's try something else. Something else can work. We don't have to do this. Another one that didn't sit well with me is this one with Ziggy Marley titled Peace and Love. I'm like, yeah, there's a Marley behind the name. That doesn't mean we have to talk about, oh, let's come together, one love. I wasn't excited about this. After that, I wasn't really excited about this project. The rest of it wasn't it for me. I really didn't enjoy most of this album after that. Had a really good beginning. I was so hyped about what the album was gonna be about, with the song like number 1, bah, number 2, bah, number 3, yeah, and then number 4, it's like she just really, it's not like she took her legs off the accelerators, like she slammed on the brakes. That's the way I feel about it. and the album didn't really do it for me, right? It didn't really do it for me at all. But the thing is, with Yemi Alade, I actually like hearing her voice. She's got one of those voices that I can listen to. I can listen to the song, even if it's not my favorite. I can actually listen to her sing, right? She's got one of those voices for me. One of those artists that I can just listen to her sing, right? And so it didn't feel like a catastrophic event, right? The album didn't feel like that because I, for one, just like to hear her sing, but it wasn't a great album at all. I wasn't excited. The moment I started to get into the middle of the project and towards the end, I was like, oh my gosh, why? No. Because I know she can do better than this. She can do better than this. I, for one, would have said, go with the African vibe. Give me the African sounds. I would listen to you sing any time of the day. I will listen to you sing. And so it's like, here we go. So that, I didn't really like this album. I would have, I'm not going to give this album a rated, right? But because of, I've been honest already about how I feel about the project. I'm not going to add more to it by giving it a grading, but I really did not like this project as much. I'm still going to be listening to every other song every other project, every other song that Yemi Alade has out there. I'm going to be listening to that song tomorrow. Well, like really, really well. I'm going to be listening to that song for sure. Kilowawa, I'm going to be listening to that one as well. Yeah, so Yemi Alade, she's still her. I don't think this project necessarily defines her. It's just one of those things. It happens. You don't give a project that is your best. So yeah, let me move on now to kind of like the singles, things that I saw this week. Odumodublack, real quick. Odumodublack released the song this week. Tiae, I know his reputation out there, and I will be honest that there's some artists that vex me, that have really terrible behaviors out there, that I'm not able to listen to their music because they just have despicable like attitude and just the way they behave, right? It just makes it hard to listen to them. But you see, Odumodublack, I, for one, has been one of those people who feel I would never diminish the work he does. I actually think he does a great job. There are people out there, in quotes, rap heads and different other people who don't like him. Outside of the music, they just don't like him. But I'm gonna be honest, all the crazy stuff he tweets, for me, it just go past my head. It's like I'm not expecting a lot from him, personally. That might be a bad thing. I don't think that is a compliment, right? Just thinking about it, I don't think that's a compliment. I honestly don't. It's like I expect the bar is so low for him. I'm not expecting the greatest things from him, right? But at the same time, I would not allow people to take that and use it to diminish his music. I still think, for me, he's not like the greatest rapper because nowhere close. But I still love to hear him rap. Every time he gets on a song, I honestly want to hear what he has to say. He is that kind of artist. Every time I see Odumodublack as the artist, or he's the main artist or the featured artist, I want to hear what he has to say. Very few artists are able to still do that today. Like, people, and the thing is, he always has something unique to say. He's never on a track and the song just goes meh. Even if the song is meh, Odumodublack's verse is like 100. It's like you go from 0 to 100 in a few bars. That's how I feel about his music. I know people say a lot, but in the end, this whole rap thing, it's poetry, right? And I love to hear his take and his play with either words or ideas. For me, that's how I feel he's got this new song out that's a response to whoever it was this a few weeks ago, and this song was kind of like a response to that. Let me quickly get that here. Let me see if I can. I'm not able to do this. Hold on. I want to make sure that I get this correctly. Yeah. The song is titled "Not All That." I think it must have been Lakon or someone who dissed him a while ago, saying he's not all that. And this song, 2 minutes 22 seconds. I really enjoy this. He is a really and not just entertaining, because if I say entertaining, it makes it look like there's no like substance to him. But I think there's actually substance. Every time I want to hear what he has to say, and he always has a unique way of delivering his music. I actually do like his rap. A lot of people don't. I actually do like his rap. And I think what is happening is a lot of people use the kind of he's got this like braggadocious, sometimes ridiculous attitude, and people use that to, it spills over into the music. And I kind of understand that. If you don't like someone personally, it can affect, I mean, I feel about that about some artists as well. It can affect how you listen to the music, right? But I think not necessarily how you listen to their music. Yeah, it can affect how you listen to their music. I mean, I can be honest enough to say if that is the case when it comes to certain artists, right? So I'm speaking as a fan of his music and everything he does. At the same time, as someone who covers music and covers the industry, I can tell you that I disagree vehemently with people saying he's not a great rapper. I disagree like 100%. He is, because one, he's the only one that says what he says the way he says it. He always has something refreshing to say. Even if he's saying what everybody is saying, he says it in his own way, his own unique way, that I'm always wanting to listen to. I think his best verse is still, or his best verses are still in Psycho YP's album, YP Season, where I think is there was one, I can't remember the name of the song right now, but he's featured on 2 songs in that album. I think those 2 songs are Odumodublack's best verses, because it just breaks into even something personal. He's able to talk about something personal, and most people didn't even realize it, because most people are not even listening to it, right? Like, yeah. So I disagree with all the things that have usually been said about him, and that him not being a rapper, and all of that. I disagree 100%. So I really did enjoy this track for sure, titled "Not All That." Let me know what you think about this as well. Let me also talk about this. This guy, his name is FirstKlaz, right? And he's been releasing for a while now. He's been releasing like this Fuji inspired I would say songs that have actually gotten him a lot of attention. The first one he did was released Gen Z Faji, and then he released Gen Z Faji like a remix, right, featuring what's this man's name? I'm always let me get his name. Tiae. Beautiful song, right? And then recently he just released this one again, sort of like that, Tiae, more like Yoruba leaning, that Fuji, right? And then he combines the contemporary like sound today with the Hausa sound on this one, titled Gen Z Arewa, or is it Arewa? Oh, I don't know how to give it the right thing, but this was a really good listen. He is doing something really creative here that just really refreshing. It's not what everybody else is doing. You see something that works, and then you actually pay attention to give something really good. Sometimes you release a song, it goes viral, people like it, and you try to continue in that line. Most people fail real quick, right? Because they're not able to replicate that. But with him, I see the trend. My own is, give me an album of this. of this sound, not necessarily, but of this sound. And I think he can do it with the way the real song, the Faji 2, and now with Arawa. I think at this point, I think he has a hold of this. He knows how to work this sound and how to make it sound really good. This is an album that I think if he does the good job with it, if he put a lot of work and thought into this, it could be up there as one of my favorite projects this year. It really could. It really could be. As I'm just thinking about it, because of the way I feel about the songs he's released already, the Gen Z, I will say, what would I call the Gen Z? What Gen Z songs he's released so far? Gen Z inspired songs or title songs so far. I'm the way I feel about those songs, I'm like, imagine if I have 10 songs playing around that sound and still, oh my God, it's going to be really, really good. It's going to be really, really good. Really, really good. So FirstKlaz, give us that album. Give me that album real quick. It's what I want. Not an EP. I don't want EP. Just give me like, maybe you know, with these 3, you give me 3 more. No, give me like 10 songs, right? 7 more. Playing around this sound. If it means taking your time, please do, right? But just keep it real. You definitely have something working here. I am for sure behind you. So let's dive into this. Probably the last thing I'll talk about today, because I think we've run way beyond what I was gonna think. But this is something really important that I was thinking about this week. And I think I mentioned some of it. I mentioned some of it last week, where some of the things that I talked about last week, talking about around gatekeeping Afrobeats and all of that, and what it would look like, and like how, like, it's not possible to like gatekeep the sound itself. It's gonna go out there to the world. There's nothing you can do about it. And I was just, thinking more on that today, throughout the course of this week, and something just occurred to me, and it's that we are not ready for this so-called Afrobeats to the world. As fans, as Nigerians, we are not ready for what it truly means for this so-called Afrobeats to dominate the world. We're not ready. You're like, oh, Tiae, what do you mean? Let me explain, let me expand. Rap as a genre originated in North America, in the US. From there, spreads across the world. Now we have Brazilian rappers. We have Indian rappers, South Korean rappers, English rappers, Russian rappers, Nigerian rappers, South African rappers, Canadian rappers, right? So there are rappers everywhere now. But then the thing is, the rappers everywhere does not affect the rappers in the US, where the music originated from, right? So a rapper can be, it's possible to have a Nigerian rapper or an English rapper be better than a rapper in the US. It is it is possible. Like, not like it is possible. It exists today. I'm not going to dive into that. That's a whole nother, like, rabbit hole. But it exists today. And my question is, in a scenario where that becomes Afrobeats, I don't know whether you get where I'm going to, where Afrobeats becomes that, because that's what the way this Afrobeats to the world and what we want, right? It's that as well. I don't think we understand what it means, but that is what I would say the height or the peak or the conclusion of Afrobeats to the world will be, that there can be the origin of Afrobeats being Nigeria, but then you can have Brazilian Afrobeats, North American Afrobeats, American artists who are actually Afrobeat artists, but they're American Afrobeat artists that are Brazilian, Afrobeat artists that are English, Afrobeat artists that are South Korean. My question is, are we ready for that? Are we ready for that world? That also those Afrobeat artists are going to be better than some of our own Nigerian original, the source of the Afrobeats. Are we ready for that? Are we going to be honest about those conversations? Do we really know what that means? Dancehall is not a Nigerian genre originated in Nigeria. It's not Nigerian sound. In the Caribbean, but we have a Nigerian who, Ruga, does Caribbean music, the dancehall music. He's an expert, great at it. And I can say he's probably better than some original Caribbean artist. Now, a particular artist, I think last week or so, a few weeks ago, released the song. I think his name is let me get his name real quick. His name is Philly. I don't know a lot about him. I don't know whether he's a Jamaican. I don't really know a lot about. But I saw a video of him of his Afrobeat song he just released, Afrobeat inspired song, the beat of course, and the way he's singing as well, the accent he's using and the way he's saying his words as well, trying to sound like Nigerian to fit into that Afrobeat sound and just, the music as a whole. And there was a tweet, shout out to my guy Tiae. He put out a tweet, and part of that tweet says, not like he can make it better than we do. You see, yes, they can. Yes, they can, and they already will. They will. In fact, they should. But because, back to what I said last week, because we don't have structures to celebrate our own, where it doesn't feel like a competition between every Afrobeats artist that exists in the world, because that's what it looks like right now. That if a South Korean releases an Afrobeat song and puts it out to the world, let's say Universal or some big record label is pushing them, they are going to be a competition to our own A-list artists, whether we like it or not. So are we ready to have that conversation and look ourselves in the mirror, that when that eventually happens, are we going to be able to be truthful and say, well, this artist is better? Like, because I listened to this song by Philly. Let me even see if he has this song out yet. If he has this song out yet, I really want to hear this one. Let me see if that is his name on social media. I didn't know it was going to be, oh, is it Young Philly? Is that it? Oh, it's him. It's him. Oh, his name is actually Young Philly. Has he released a song? Oh, let me see. Is this the song? Let me see whether this is the song. Please tell me he has a song. Oh, this is the song. The song is titled Gray. Oh no, let me hear the original. Oh my gosh, it is. Wait, is he a Jamaican or something? Because I don't know anything about him. Let me see. Ooh, I know nothing about him. And guess what? This song titled Gray is its biggest song ever with 54 million. It's an Afrobeat inspired song. Are we ready for this Afrobeats to the world? Because you saying he cannot be better, that he cannot make, it's hate. I'm sorry, Tiae, but that's what that sounds like. It means you don't even understand this. It sounds like hate to me. Born in the heart of Colombia. He's South American, okay, and raised in Southeast London. So he is a Colombian and he's based in London right now. So I can see how this sounded really good. Are we ready? How many of our own artists, they have a song? Right, I'm sure we have a couple of them, right? But not like A-list, like 54 million. It's his biggest song ever. And it's not like he just started doing music today, right? It's not like and it's not like he has like 5 billion listeners. He's got just 1.3 million listeners on 1.3 million listeners on Spotify. Let me see. I really will be interested. Oh, it's not even the one. It's not. I don't think he has released it yet. He hasn't released this song yet, but he's released an Afrobeat song already. It's titled Gray. That is really good. He has a remix. The remix to the song is also doing really well with 5 million. And so, I mean, long and short, are we ready for this Afrobeats to the world? How comfortable are we going to be? And I also understand that part of the thing here is some of the things are beyond our control, right? Where like the economy, of course, we're going to feel threatened because our money is outside. Like there are a lot of rappers in the US that never need to step out of the U. In fact, they don't have to. Their music doesn't have to go beyond the East or West Coast for them to make a living out of as a musician. Their music don't have to go outside of the US, right? So they don't feel threatened by any Nigerian rapper because they make money where they are, right? And I feel the same way. Like if our artists don't have to go outside to get this money, right? If they don't always have to go outside to find money, probably we wouldn't feel threatened, right? Because you can be like, oh, if you're an English guy doing rap in the doing Afrobeats in the UK, fine. But then the problem is Nigerian Afrobeat artists as well need to go to the UK to also make money. So it's like we are fighting against our own movement. Basically, that's what it is. It's like we're at the same time we're pushing the culture. At the same time, we're fighting against it. Because the more we get bigger, the more we're going to inspire a new generation of people who love the music, like Ruga love dance hall, right? We're gonna inspire people like that who want to release Afrobeat songs, or who want to be Afrobeat artists. The way we recognize Ruga as a dancehall artist, there are going to be artists and young people like that across the world who are Afrobeat artists in their own local dialect, singing it with your own local language, not even with English. But we will be able to recognize that that's an Afrobeat song, right? Are we ready for that? Unfortunately, I think part of the conversation here is because of where we are as a nation, and because we're not. This is mind-blowing the more I'm thinking about it, even being here. Yeah, that's a problem, because everywhere we're spreading the music to, whoever gets inspired there is a competition to us, is a threat. Is a threat to us. And so it's like we are planting the seed, watering the seed, and when it's trying to grow, we kill it as well. Bam. Basically, that's what's happening. Man, incredible conversation. Please let me know what you think about this. I'm thinking about this like time is gone already. I really, like we have to go, man. We have to go. But damn, it's an incredible conversation. And I trust me, this conversation is not happening anywhere else. You guys know, if you're listening to this this part long enough, these are the kind of conversations we have here. We think about it from a place of love as well, and where everyone can succeed, right? So incredible conversations. But we have to go. But before we go, beyond the zone, real quick, beyond the zone, things happening outside of music. I saw a video this week, Mikel Obi talking about legendary Nigerian footballer, talking about foreign-born Nigerian players who parents are Nigerian. They give birth to them, let's say in France, Paraguay, whatever. But then instead of them to play for Nigeria, what happens is they decide to, they wait. They want to play for the European countries or foreign countries where probably they were born or they've been for a long time. Although they are Nigerian, they know they are, right? Because, and so instead of just coming up and say, oh, Nigerian Football Federation, I'm available if you want me, they decide to wait for Poland to call them. They decide to wait for Netherlands to come. That's, they also have a nationality. And let's say they're what? Those guys don't call them at the age of 19, 20, 25. And then they get to 26, 27, and they're like, oh, yeah, I'm available now, Nigeria. And I get his point. He's saying that cannot be acceptable. People need to embrace who they are. Right? People need to embrace who they are. And the thing is, it's not necessarily, and I get what you say, it's not necessarily the fact that they choose those countries. Is that after those countries don't choose them, they will now want to come back to Nigeria like it's a second choice, like we don't really matter. He's saying stand on your ground. If you don't get picked for any of those foreign countries, France, England, whatever, stay there. Don't play national team football. If you're not picked, stay there. Don't come to us now and be like, oh yeah, I'm available now. Like we're just shit on the wayside. Oh, now I can come back to you. If you decide to stay with those countries, stay there. Stay your ass there. I think it's all about respect as well. These players don't respect where they're from. They see those, but you're already playing there making money. How much are people actually making from national team football? It should be a thing of pride. Right? It should be a thing of pride. And I see this, and let's be honest, I see Nigerian sounding names in, and I'm like, why are you not playing for Nigeria? Why are you not playing for Nigeria? It's ridiculous. I agree with him 100%, man. Folks need to be part of where they're from. They need to beat their chest and say, yeah, this is who I am. I'm Nigerian. Take me as I am. Actually be proud, man. And actually be proud. I agree with Mikel, man. I agree with Mikel. Shout out to him. Legendary footballer, making great points. He's got a podcast out. It's been controversial at times as well. I've been one of those people who clown some of his takes, but he is who he is. And for sure, right now, he's dropping gems. And all I can do is, support him, support his takes right now. Well, let's round things there up real quick. We're already way beyond where I usually like to keep it. But thank you very much for listening to the end of the pod today. It means a lot. It means a lot. I was reading the statistics that the percentage of people that actually listen to the end of a podcast. So thank you very much if you're listening right now. It really means a lot. Please don't hesitate to share with family and friends. This pod drops once every week, every Monday, bringing you the best conversations around the Nigerian music industry and beyond. Please don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Until next week, I remain Tiae. Stay blessed.